Okay. So, anyone remembers where we left off? Which book we were studying? By Srila Prabhupada. Very good. Okay. So, where did we leave off? What all did we cover in Nectar of Devotion? Very brief. We will not do a very detailed recap. Very brief.
Characteristics.
Okay. Before that, Mangalacharan, Vastu Nirdesh, Ashirvad. We covered all those things. Then what did we described what is pure devotional service. Everyone remembers the verse now? Bhakti Rutam. Okay, so that is the definition of pure bhakti. So everyone has done that. So and we dissected each and every word in that particular verse. Anya Abhilashita, Jnana, Karmadi, Anavritam, everything. Why is Anya Abhilasha not said? Why is it said Anya Abhilasita? That is Karuna Avatar Prabhu. Why is not that? Why? Too much for it. I think next week we'll have full attendance. So why Anya Abhilashita? Why not Anya Abhilasha Shunyam?
You can have spiritual desires, but material desires, zero.
Not quite there.
A person who is in the edge of the death, so he can call God for him.
Correct. Everyone remembers now? It's called Anya Abhilashita because if you are praying to the Lord for sheer survival in a difficult situation, then that is not counted as Sakama prayer. Remember we discussed this point? Yeah. So that is why Anya Abhilashita. Shunyam means zero. Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Pure bhakti is not covered by philosophical speculation or fruitive mentality. Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Anukulyena. What did we discuss in Anukulyena?
Favorable.
Devotional life, devotional service must be done with a favorable intent. Okay. Suppose I do something incidentally, some activity, and it ends up pleasing Lord Krishna. Can it be necessarily called as pure devotional service?
No.
Okay. Why? It has to be a favorable intent. Okay. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Even if it is not a very, even if externally it is not very favorable, but the intention was favorable, it can be still called as pure bhakti. For example, Vidura's wife, she was peeling what? Banana peels and giving to the Lord. Banana peels only cow eats. Correct? So human being doesn't eat normally. And what to speak of giving banana peels to the Supreme Lord. But the intention was favorable. So that can be still accepted as pure bhakti. But accidentally, even if you offer bananas and the bananas are very sweet and Krishna is also very pleased, still we cannot call that as pure bhakti. Like that. Okay. So that was Anukulyena. Krishna. What did we discuss in Krishna? Pure devotional service can only be for Lord Krishna. So all of you might have attended Devamrit Maharaj's last 2 classes. He has explained it brilliantly. Last 2 days, Maharaj has been talking only on that point. Especially yesterday's class, where he said that people approach devotional service based on 4 criteria. What are the 4 criteria? No. Bhaya, Asha, Kartavya Buddhi, and Rag. Okay. Hands up if you are not understanding what's going on in the room. Everyone is understanding what's going on in the room? Be honest, huh? Raise your hand if you don't, because then at least I know what to say. We can repeat that for those people who are not in. You don't know what is it. So, Lord can be understood in 4 modes. Bhaya means approaching the Lord out of fear. Okay. Bhagavan said that's one approach towards Lord. The second approach is Asha. Asha means that oh Lord, by praying to you, I am sure you will give us our daily bread. No, that is called as asha. So you are worshipping in that way. Third is kartavya buddhi. Oh Lord, you are providing, thank you very much. मेरा ड्यूटी बनता है that I should worship you. That is called kartavya buddhi, worshipping out of duty. Suppose I call, let's say, Shyam Chandra Prabhu for, प्रभु मेरे घर पे प्रसादम के लिए आना. हाँ प्रभु, क्या प्रभु कुछ स्पेशल ओकेजन है क्या? नहीं, कुछ स्पेशल ओकेजन नहीं है प्रभु. याद है आपने पिछला महीना मुझे बुलाया था आपके घर पे, तो मेरा ड्यूटी बनता है ना आपको बुलाने का. हाउ डू यू लाइक दैट, बीइंग इनवाइटेड लाइक दिस? नहीं नहीं प्रभु, आपको जरूरत नहीं है ऐसा. नो फॉर्मेलिटीज प्रभु. दैट्स हाउ यू विल टेल मी देन. Why? People don't relish this as love. This is not love. This is just called as gratitude, an obligation, which is what Maharaj was telling yesterday also. So this is not love. So neither bhai nor asha nor kartavya buddhi. So Krishna is approached through rag, out of love. Because for bhai we have Lord Nrsimhadev also. Right? We have. And Vishnu is the maintainer. So you can have gratitude to Vishnu that he is maintaining. But when you say Krishna, he is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. So the two-handed form of the Lord, especially in Golok Vrindavan, Maharaj was explaining, you can only approach through sweet love. Because there, the Lord wants to forget all these things. That I am Bhagavan, I am the supreme controller. He wants to be controlled. In Golok Vrindavan. Not in Vaikuntha he is not controlled. In Golok he is controlled. So that kind of a relationship can, and that kind of a reciprocation only Krishna can do with us. In no other form of the Lord that is possible. And that is why that this particular two-handed form of the Lord, where he forgets that he is himself God, is called as the absolute truth. Therefore Prabhupada writes, the conception of God and the conception of absolute truth are not on the same level. He writes that in the opening statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. So दोनों एक level में नहीं है. Which is higher? Absolute truth is higher than the conception of God. Because conception of God में then you will seek protection, you will seek something. Whereas absolute truth means that Lord is running from Yashoda mother. He is stealing butter. He doesn't need to steal anything because he owns everything. So there he also forgets that. So that ras. So that pure bhakti is within the realm of, is the forte of Krishna. It is his. It is only for him. You can't do pure bhakti with anyone else. So the word bhakti, in one sense, Rupa Goswami says that bhakti means it can be only for Krishna. It cannot be, you cannot say I am Ganesh Bhakt. People say that usually, but there is no bhakti involved. Most of the people who say that anyway, they just go for exam results or something, love failures, love successes, Correct, no? No, sorry, I shouldn't ask. I'm just generally saying. Anyone from Bombay will hear it. The Prabhadevi temple, people go there and stand for Ganesh. Everyone wants something, that's why they are standing. Nobody has just come and said that. Or somebody will say, result आया उसका, merit list में आया वो, तो इसके लिए खड़े हैं. Then you at least write, मतलब merit list में नहीं आता तो नहीं खड़े होते थे वहाँ पे. No, it's like that. No, if your son wouldn't have been in the merit list, you wouldn't be. What if you would have failed SSC? Would the mother be still standing with coconut and agarbatti outside? Thank you, my dear Lord. It was your desire, so it prevailed. Maybe it is good for us. Does anyone stand like that with a coconut and peda outside Ganesh temple? Not possible, right? So everything has got some expectation. And Devamrit Maharaj very nicely said, the moment there is an expectation, it cannot be love. And Maharaj gave a very beautiful example of his own life. In his own life, even mother and son, there is expectation. Like that. And there is a condition. He said, there is a condition. If you have to get the family wealth, then you must leave ISKCON and come and stay at home. Then your grandmother's wealth will be available to you. Like that. So there is always a if condition everywhere. So whereas in love, there is no if. No ifs and buts. So, Anyabalashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishna. So that Krishna we covered. Favorable intention with a view to loving Krishna. Anusilanam. Bhakti Uttama. So, Krishna consciousness is what? Is all about cultivation. What did we discuss? Everyone is blank. Did anyone open the notes also? Huh?
Vritti and
Following the Acharya Shastra.
Yeah, following Shastras, Pravritti and Nivritti. So, cultivation aspect means that we follow whatever is favorable for Krishna consciousness, and Nivritti means what? We avoid whatever is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. For example, we follow the 4 regulative principles. Where does it come under? Huh? Nivritti, no? Because we avoid meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex and gambling. So, yesterday again, Devamrit Maharaj, even today's class he said, there is nothing devotional or spiritual about the 4 regulative principles. They just to come to the platform of human platform, that's all. Just you are a human being, first of all, if you do these things. So no need to feel very spiritual after just following the 4 regulative principles. Because from there, you become a human being, then you start 16 rounds and the process of bhakti. And we'll talk about some of those aspects today. Okay. Then we talked about, from there we moved on to the first chapter, which is characteristics of pure devotional service. So there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. What are the 6 characteristics? Moksha what? Then? And Krishna Akarshani. So these are 6 characteristics of bhakti. Out of which in the last year we have only done 1 characteristic. Today we will do the second characteristic. So any idea what is the first characteristic all about? First characteristic was Klesha Agni. Bhakti's first characteristic is Klesha Agni. So for someone who is entering into the realm of pure devotional service, sincerely endeavoring, then a person can experience Klesha Agni. That is called as what? English translation is? Relief from material distress. So that is called as Klesha Agni. So what did we discuss in Klesha Agni? What are the different things that we discussed?
The 3 causes of suffering. 3 causes of suffering.
What are the causes of suffering?
Bijam,
Ha. Ha.
Vidya.
Huh? Aprarabdham is the cause or the effect? Aprarabdham is the cause or effect? Effect. What is the cause? Papa. So papa means what? Sin. So we discussed the vicious cycle of sinning, which then leads to a tendency to sin or a proclivity to sin, which then manifests into a specific desire to sin, which then manifests into action, which is called as sin. ठीक है? पाप करने से, if you do पाप करने से, then पाप का बीज, no, what do you call that? You get a disposition. Seed is there inside. And after some time that seed becomes in a resolute determination. For example, if you are used to killing or on a gully, what is that called? Dhulai. Like a roadside gunda, like that. So because you are already doing that day in and day out, then what will happen? You will always have that tendency, to do it with the society chairman or with somebody, neighbor, that will be there. And then what will happen? Because you have that nature, many people say like that, किसी को मारने का मन कर रहा है बहुत, like that. So that is called as that proclivity. They are always, the nature itself becomes like that. And then they will specifically say, oh, today I will hit this man. Specifically. And then that is called as, in one sense, that is bijam. And then hitting is actually called as papam. So then you end up doing the activity. So papam leads to more papam, like that. So we saw that vicious cycle. Now when you do papam, what is the problem? It leads to 2 different reactions. Reaction which is stored for the future, and reactions which you are undergoing presently, which have already fructified. Okay, so there are 2 types of reactions when you do pap. एक वो है जिसकी सजा बाद में मिलेगी, which means it is stored for a future. That is called as aprarabdham. And by the force of time, then aprarabdham now becomes prarabdham. Because you did a sin today for which you are marked for getting reaction in 2017. With the passage of time, suddenly comes 2017. So that aprarabdham now becomes prarabdham. It has started manifesting in your life. Abhi uska saza mil raha hai. And then you think, I didn't do anything yesterday. I was a nice man since last 1 week. But no, mister, you did this in 2015. Now you are getting reaction. So this is an example of aprarabdham. So this example we are taking in a 2-year window, but actually it is a lifetimes. It's a lifetime window. So today, whatever we are suffering, prarabdham, it could very well be a result of what the sins which we have done sometime in the past, which are fructifying. Now, why did we discuss all these things? What is the significance? One, what is the root of all this papam? Why do people sin?
Avidya.
Because people sin, therefore they get a desire, proclivity to sin. Because they have a proclivity to sin, it manifests in a specific desire to sin. Because there is a specific desire to sin, again you sin. But what is the original cause of sin? Avidya. So avidya is at the root of all sin. So paap ka karan kya hai? Avidya. Avidya is the reason for sin. Avidya means?
Ignorance.
Ignorance of what? Ignorance of
Discriminating what is right and
who we are and what is our relationship with the Supreme. Simple. Sambandha Gyan. We don't know. We think we are not accountable at all. Because we think we are not accountable, then we think that any behavior is acceptable. Because nobody is accountable, nobody is watching anyway. Like that. Avidya. Don't believe in law of karma. What goes around comes around. And usually when we tell people law of karma, they say, I don't believe in it. Kyun bhai? That fellow is such a criminal, but he is having more wealth than anyone else. He is enjoying nicely with wine, women, like that. Police is not able to catch him. International terrorist. So what law of karma you are talking about? Whereas I went to office, I don't harm anyone, but my grandfather got some disease. I loved him so much. This is the kind of conversation. Or my son had this, my daughter had this. So we don't. So because we see through a very narrow lens, we see life through a very narrow lens. That day I don't know with who I was discussing this. If you're in this Olympics, they keep running round and round, many laps. So if you take just a narrow view, you will find one man running ahead and one man running behind. Can you say that the one man running ahead is faster than the one man running behind? Why not? Because the fellow ahead must be running the previous lap. So that is a problem with taking a very narrow view of life. Okay, when you take a narrow view, यहाँ से यहाँ तक ही मैं देखूँगा. Then you will find a different reality. But when you broaden it, you will say, oh, acha, it's like this. Just like Karna. Karna, everyone glorifies him. Correct? In India. I feel pity for Karna. Bahut daya aata. He is the real hero of the Mahabharata. But when people come to know that Karna was a demon in his previous life, how many people he killed, then people will stop sympathizing with such a personality. So we take a narrow view of life and we judge within that narrow window. So that is why it's very important to have this knowledge of Kleshagni. Yes, bro. Question hai?
Our parent in this, not in this life, right? There was some discussion on that.
Yeah, Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj's class, when I was hearing Nectar of Devotion seminar, he said that it's generally stored for, generally it is in the context of future lifetimes. That's the impression I got when I heard. But it doesn't really matter in one sense. How does it matter? It doesn't matter. Why it doesn't matter? Because we are in the process of bhakti. The beauty of bhakti is what? Okay, let me put it in a different way. How can you remove sinful reaction? What are the different ways of removing sinful reaction?
Fire. Exactly.
What's the easiest way of doing it? Huh?
Bhakti, bhakti.
Okay. Okay. Easiest way. Let me put it this way. What is the easiest answer? Huh?
In Navta Bhakti, you should start listening. Shravana.
No, that's that is a Navabhida Bhakti. वो तो भक्ति का realm में है. One way of removing your sinful reaction is to undergo the sinful reaction. That's what I was saying. Simple बात है ना. खून किया अभी क्या क्या कर सकता है? हाँ जेल जाके आओ ना, ठीक हो जाएगा. 10 साल जेल में रहेगा तो हो गया. खून का भी सजा मिल जाएगा. 10 साल नहीं, whatever. Depends on the खून. Correct? So actually Bhakti-rasa Maharaj says that. One, we should not forget that. Undergoing the reaction for our sin, bhogatne is also a way of releasing the sins. Right? That is one way. Second way is the way which most people do in India. What do they do? Karma Kand. जाके काल सर्पदोष निकालो, मंगलिक है वो निकालो, ये निकालो, you know, go to a demigod. So that way what you are trying to do, you are trying to, and there are certain demigods who can help you with sinful reaction. So then you can go to the demigods and remove the sinful reaction. तो फिर भक्ति क्यों करना है? Because through karma kanda, the desire to sin does not go away. Only the reaction may go away. You know, like for example, I know in Bombay, recently there was one, there was one murder case which happened, in the Western Express Highway. This fellow, this murderer, he picked up this girl who was working in TCS or something from Kurla station, terminus, Lokmanya Tilak terminus, we call it as. And then he told her that I will take you to your destination. And then he told that he's a cabbie. Finally, he said, my cab is not working, but I'll drop you on my motorbike. And God knows why this girl, she was such an educated person. She sat behind him and went. He went and abused her and then he killed her. And then after that, this joker, he goes all the way to some, Haridwar or somewhere. And he's taking a dip in some holy river, as if, all his things will be atoned just by doing that. So this is a level of ignorance of people. He's taking a dip in that river after doing this abominable act, like that. So people don't have any idea at all of what to do. People think that sab paap dhul gaye. Many people say, I went to a temple. What did you do in India? Many of sometimes you meet your colleagues also. They come back from vacation. Where did you go? मंदिर सब देख के आया. Okay, सब पाप धुल गए अभी. नया कोटा भी शुरू कर सकता है. So this is the mentality of people. So karma kanda, this is the mentality. Similar mentality Prabhupada also writes a nectar of instruction. The church going, go do sin on Friday night, go and confess on Saturday morning, and the padri will say, oh, and then, oh, I did sin, like that. Oh, from inside some hand will come and okay, take some medicine for it. So Prabhupada says Jesus will save you, they will say. So Jesus is not a contractor who takes sins, with whom we have signed some statement of work and service level agreements. That so and so much sin we will do, type 1 sin you will take, whatever. So Jesus is not meant for that. He is not meant to be used as a doormat where we keep on sinning and doing confession. So real atonement means there has to be change of the heart. So that change of the heart only comes through the process of bhakti, and that is why bhakti gives relief, permanent relief from material distress. Because the cause of all material distress is avidya, ignorance. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agam dunvanti karsanyana nihara miha bhaskara. Bhakti can burn the weeds of sinful action in such a way that they will never sprout. We gave an example. Always remember, even when you are preaching, please remember this example. How will you remember? Rising sun to verse, that's the meaning of the verse. But I told you one example of a king.
The boiling seed.
Correct. The seeds, when you boil, they will not sprout. So bhakti is like boiling the seeds of sinful reaction. Ugega hi nahi bad mein. When you boil something, seed, and then you put on the ground, how will it? So bhakti does that to all the sinful reactions. They will not sprout again. That is how powerful it is. That's how bhakti does not destroy sinful reaction only. Bhakti destroys sinful action. So it's a very proactive process. It's not a reactive process. Okay. Vanira. Thank you. All right. So what is the conclusion of Klesha Agni therefore? That bhakti eradicates sinful reactions, it nullifies sinful desire, it counteracts material proclivities, and most importantly it uproots ignorance. So ekdam jad se ukhad deta, it solves the problem from the root. Because now no longer are you ignorant about the constitutional laws of this world, no longer ignorant about our own constitutional position, our responsibilities in the human form of life. So bhakti teaches us all these things. It gives us sambandha gyan, abhideya gyan and prayojana gyan. SAP. Therefore, bhakti is the only efficient and effective way for getting permanent relief from all suffering. This is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto. In the first chapter, Sukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are discussing. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, what is the duty of a person who is supposed to die? Because Parikshit Maharaj was supposed to die. This question may not be relevant to all of us because we are not going to die, correct? So it is relevant for all of us. Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days pakka. We don't know whether we have 7 days. So he is asking, what is the duty of a person who is about to die? So after so many verses, the key point which Sukadeva Goswami tells is Etan nirvidyamananam ichchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer nama anukirtanam. Which means that the most important duty of a person who is come into this mrityu lok, most important duty is what? Harer nama anukirtanam. Not harer nama kirtanam. Harer nama kirtanam could mean inventing our own process. Tuesday को उपवास करते हो, क्यों करते हो भाई? नहीं, family में, no, this is not that kind of worship. This is anukirtanam, as ordained in the scriptures, as shown by our seniors. Only such a kirtan will give real benefits. खुद का invent करेंगे तो नहीं होगा. Any questions? No question? Yoga Nidra. आँख बंद हो रहा है. Eyes are closing. I did one. This morning my eyes were also closing in the class. So what I did, I'll tell you a trick. If you have cold water, just take some drops like this and then keep your eye like this and put it like this. Seriously, I'm telling you. Today morning I was awake in the Bhagavatam class only because of that. I was taking cold. My neighbor also saying, why is that? I thought, he was saying, my neighbor. He must have wondered what I'm doing.
Yeah. I thought you were kidding me, right?
Because I was almost going like this. Okay. So that's a powerful, seriously, powerful technique. If anyone is sleepy in this room, I'm sure you are not. But still, if you are. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Sometime back you were saying about Parikshit Maharaj. When a person is about to die, what they do, or what should he do, a person? So when Parikshit Maharaj knew about his death, oncoming death in the next 7 days, why did he choose to stay in a secluded place, all covered and secured?
Because he wanted to stay away from WhatsApp. Seriously. Metaphorically I am speaking, not literally. He wanted to stay away from WhatsApp. दुनिया में रहेंगे ना तो कोई छोड़ेगा नहीं लोग. Nobody will allow you to do silently chant your 16 rounds also. Correct, no? See how many you try chanting 16 rounds. Ting ding, ting ding. हाँ हरि बोल प्रभु, हाँ बोलिए प्रभु. And then you keep ting ding, ting ding. हाँ माता जी. You can't even do 16 rounds. in Kali Yuga. So he left. Actually, it is mentioned that he wanted to just renounce everything and completely focus on the Lord in a secluded spot. He didn't want any kind of diversion. Trust me, if we are also told, someone actually tells us, "Aapke paas 7 din hai," most of us will probably do that only. Do you think you will still be on WhatsApp? If you have 7 days, someone tells you, will we be on WhatsApp, on internet? It will be completely different. I had a dream once like that. That I had doctor bolta hai, boss, jayega tu, like that. I got up panting like that, when I woke up. I went through that experience in a dream. But I have never had such an experience in real life. I don't want to. But I have experienced that feeling how it could be in a dream. Because in a dream you are dreaming, but you think it is happening to you. And then whatever emotions you are undergoing, I could realize that. I was shocked that I'm going to leave. And I'm thinking, my goodness, my parents, my wife, my son, my this, that. So only when we are meditating that we will leave any time, only then we can come to that mood of seriousness in devotional life. Most of us, we think that usually our thinking is that we will live long. Sab log waise sochta hai, we will live long, we will retire, abhi grihastha ashram mein thoda paisa kama lenge, then fir Prabhu, how much dollars we need in the bank to retire, Prabhu, to do full time devotional service. Everyone thinks like this. Every man and his dog thinks like this. Correct? And then we will retire by 50, 52. After that, we will go somewhere to, Mayapur or Vrindavan and reside. Asi tarah Prabhu has also given a nice, he has shown us the way forward, how to do that. That's one example, of course, of Vanaprastha. So all of us think that aise hi chalta rahega life. But hakikat mein, maybe it may not be like that also. We pray it's like that for all of us, but death can come anytime. But we don't think like that. That's why we procrastinate attentive chanting for some other day. But आज नहीं, बाद में करते हैं attentive chanting. अभी थोड़ा कल से करते हैं. So, but Parikshit Maharaj, he knew that he had 7 days only, nothing more. So what do? He will go to a secular place. We all probably would do that only, isn't it? Will we not do that? Otherwise, then we are shameless then. If knowing also, then we say, ठीक है अभी, एक तो थोड़ा रसगुल्ला खा के बाद में. So someone who has 7 days to die, people have dreams that okay, let me see all the world, and then what will you see in France and Italy? What is there in that? There will be another, what is that? McDonald's. There will be another Kentucky Fried Chicken. वही चलता रहता है ना उधर भी. आहारा निद्रा भयम मैथुनम. That is what is happening. There is one tower which looks like an electricity pole. India में तो बहुत है ऐसा. But they call it as some Eiffel Tower or something like that. Because they call Eiffel Tower, everyone is looking at it. Maybe there is something amazing about it. But still, is it something you need to really do before, if you know that you are going to die? So like that. So people still don't know the priorities of life. Yeah. Okay. So we'll move forward now. Okay. For the new aspect. The second characteristic of bhakti. So the first characteristic is klesha agni. Second one is what? Shubhada. Shubhada means all auspicious. All auspiciousness. In one sense, point number 1 and point number 2 are related. When klesha agni comes, then shubhada also follows. Suppose life mein 12 baj gaya sabka, right? Nobody will say shubhada, everything is so auspicious. Somebody will say like that or what? Nobody is going to say like that. Everything is going wrong. Somebody lost a job, and then you say, Prabhu, sab mangal hi ho raha hai. Everything is auspicious. Correct, no? बोले क्या बोल रहा है, आपका जॉब जाएगा तो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा, तभी बोलो ऑस्पिशियस है. Correct, no? So these are all, sometimes we use things very theoretically, but actually in real life, it's mentioned also in Nectar of Devotion, as suffering reduces, then auspiciousness increases. Usually in a family where there is too much suffering, there is inauspiciousness in such families. You cannot say, no, everything is auspicious. Iske liye aisa ho raha hai. That, for someone to say like that, one has to be on a really, really high platform of in bhakti. Tathenu kampam sushimikshamanav. Like whatever bad things happen in life, you still are able to see Krishna's hand, and you see it as a plan of Lord Krishna to detach you from material life. That's a very high platform, right? At least I am not there on that platform. So therefore, and many of us may not be. So there is no point in imitating. So these 2 points are actually not even characteristics of advanced stages of bhakti. These two, Kleshagni and Shubhada, especially Shubhada, at least, it is mentioned that Shubhada will come on the platform of Nishtha. Kleshagni, to some extent we can see right from the time that we came into bhakti. Have we not seen? How were we able to give up tea, coffee, onion, garlic, our interest in watching cricket? The effect of bhakti is already manifesting. It has in all our lives. We have seen that. We have lost taste for many things which we imagined that hoga hi, ye kaisa chhod sakta hu bhai, like that. Okay. So like one day, few days back, one person was asking me that, Prabhu, Mohammad Rafi के गाने नहीं छोड़ सकता हूँ मैं. Just 1 week back, somebody was asking, मैं कुछ भी छोड़ सकता हूँ, मोहम्मद रफ़ी के गाने कैसे कोई छोड़ सकता है? प्रभु आप ही बताओ ना. Then of course this person was very new, so he was thinking that I know. अभी क्या आप लोग बोलेगे सुनने का नहीं? मैं बोला मैंने कब बोला? मैं खुद भी सुनता हूँ. कौन सा गाना अच्छा लगता है यार? मोहम्मद रफ़ी का. Okay, and then we discussed some आज पुरानी राहों में कोई हमें आवाज़ न दे and all that. थोड़ा I was just trying to break the ice. Then of course because initially only if you tell him, oh you sinful creature, तो आएगा ही नहीं, प्रोग्राम में नहीं आएगा. करेक्ट नो? Then he will also ask you, आप भी तो आप क्या प्रहलाद महाराज थे क्या? Isn't it? So in fact I told him that आप तो सिर्फ मोहम्मद रफ़ी के फ़ैन हो. मैं बोला I had bigger problem. मैं तो मोहम्मद रफ़ी का फ़ैन था, किशोर कुमार का फ़ैन था, उसके बाद A.R. रहमान का भी फ़ैन था. By the time we came, we were fans of all the three. किसका सुनने का वही समझ में नहीं आ रहा था गाना. Correct? On top of that, I was fan of Ilayaraja also because I am a Tamilian. I was fan of so many people. So then I told him I had much bigger problems, Prabhuji, than you had, like that. So अच्छा आप भी सुनते थे? हाँ, मैं बोला बिल्कुल मैं भी सुनता था. तो फिर कैसा हुआ? Then you tell, प्रभु when you get a परम दृष्टवा निवर्तन्ते, आप कुछ मत करो, सीडी छोड़ना चाहिए. मैं बोला सीडी क्यों छोड़ो यार, मोहम्मद रफ़ी को कोई छोड़ेगा? ऐसा आप मोहम्मद रफ़ी भी सुनो और चैंटिंग भी करो. मैंने भी वही किया, तो धीरे धीरे हो जाएगा, ऐसा ऑटोमेटिक हो जाएगा. आप टेंशन मत लो. एंड देन ही अगेन कंफर्म टू मी, अच्छा सुन सकता हूँ ना मोहम्मद रफ़ी? बिल्कुल, लेकिन चैंटिंग करोगे ना? हाँ चैंटिंग करो, चैंटिंग करो, लाइक दैट. सो दिस इज द पावर ऑफ दिस प्रोसेस. एक्चुअली दिस इज द पावर ऑफ दिस प्रोसेस. कभी पता ही नहीं चलता कब, like that hero tells ना, पता ही नहीं चला कब प्यार हो गया, like that, पता ही नहीं चलता है कब कृष्णा से नाता जुड़ सा. हाँ, कृष्णा gives a higher taste, पता ही नहीं चलता है कब हुआ. And this is the same thing which will lead us to that prema stage also. पता ही नहीं चलेगा कब प्रेम हो गया. Because Bhagavatam verse says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahetukam. Which means as we progress on the path of bhakti, automatically, without our realization, we would have crossed through many. Just like, again the example of the aircraft. When we are flying very high, we don't even know, the bar clouds dikh raha hai. That day even I was confirming, baapre, move ho raha hai nahi flight? Everything was just static. Nothing is moving. The cloud is also like that. And I found it hard to believe that I was flying at some 800 kilometers per hour or something like that, whatever that speed of the flight is. It just bewilders you completely. How come, man? There's a whole lot of cloud, like a foam, as if the shaving foam hota na aisa. As if shaving foam is spread and then you're sitting, around all shaving foam, all cloud. Nothing is moving. And then, you're going, and unless that thing happens, then you feel, kuch ho raha hai, like that. So you will not know also in bhakti, kitna miles we have crossed. Right? Until we Land. When we land, suddenly the jerk comes, no? Prepare for landing. Like that. And when it hits the tarmac, उसके बाद जो होता है like that, you know. So sometimes when we don't do bhakti, when we go out of bhakti, then we will realize how fast we were flying. Like that. It happens to all of us. We all come into that seriousness, then थोड़ा दिन छुट्टी लेके फिर वापस आते हैं ना कभी-कभी, you know. So during that moratorium period, then you will come to know, you know, that how fast we were going. When all the when we are slack in our devotional life, no, then you will find that those bad habits which you had left will come back to you. Have you experienced that, anyone? वो वापस आ जाता है, you know. Again that, you know, Amir Khan, that Papa कहते हैं, it looks very nice, you know, very attractive now. Those songs, whatever it is, एक मूवी बहुत टाइम हो गया देख के, अभी एक मुन्ना भाई के बाद एक देखना ही चाहिए, you know, like that. This means that there is something डामाडोल in the sadhana. And then एक देखने के बाद फिर दूसरे के बाद तीसरा, then suddenly you realize, बाप रे मैं तो भक्त हूँ यार. I am senior devotee. People call senior devotee बोलते हैं, correct? So then you, oh नहीं अभी serious अभी. And then after some time you are serious again, you find that नहीं अभी इतना interest नहीं है, चला गया है, like that. So we all go through sometimes. So pratyaksha we can see in our life that the process of bhakti in some way has impacted all of us. So suffering reduces like that gradually and auspiciousness increases. One has to be able to look back into one's life to see that it has happened. If you compare today and yesterday, you'll say, क्या है, कुछ नहीं है, difference. कुछ फर्क नहीं. But if you see like this, then you can see where you were, what you would be doing, you know, where you not in bhakti at this point in time. Where would we be? Very difficult to imagine also. No? Very scary also to imagine where we would be. Okay. So 1 and 2 are related. Now it is mentioned that these characteristics, the characteristic of Shubhada, is fully manifested. Mark the word fully manifested, which means it's not that this will not manifest, but it will fully manifest. Shubhada will fully manifest in the stage of Nishtha. Please understand carefully. Auspiciousness will fully manifest in the stage of Nishtha, which is called as what? Steadiness. What did we say? Auspiciousness will fully manifest. This is for the people who are sleeping. Okay, just to wake them up, wherever they are in the room. Auspiciousness will fully manifest at the stage of Nishtha. Okay? If some of you want to throw that water and come, please.
What does that mean exactly? Auspiciousness manifests in such a way that we can deal with the problems, or we...
So, maybe it will be answered. Which also means that as long as we are suffering, as long as we are suffering in this world, physically or because of our qualities, then we are not in Nishtha. It also means that. The converse is also true.
Please come again. Please come again.
Yeah. So, auspiciousness fully manifests at the stage of Nishtha, which means auspiciousness, if it has not manifested, suffering is still there. That means we can be sure that we are not in the platform of Nishtha. So we know corrective action कहाँ है. ऐसा क्यों देख रहे हो? Auspiciousness will fully manifest at the stage of Nishtha. Which means if it has not manifested, where is the problem? That we are not in Nishtha. That's what I am saying. Converse is also true. So it's देखने का नजरिया है. If you see it the other way, then there will be an action item in your minutes of meeting. Action item under your name. That means boss, go to Nishtha. Does it make sense?
Who can give an example of what kind of auspiciousness is related to material or the...
घर में झगड़ा होता है? नहीं, okay. You don't have to tell them. Camera. Do all auspicious qualities come out? मियाँ बीवी के झगड़े में? So we understand that we are not on the platform. Huh?
He just surrendered so quick.
What is that?
He surrendered already.
He surrendered already.
It is not a spiritual auspiciousness.
Are you eternally surrendered? Nishtha में हो क्या आप surrender में? Because I also tell many times like that. Boss, I am surrendering. हाँ अभी बहुत हो गया अभी लफड़ा अभी मैं बस अभी बहुत हो गया अभी आज से मैं चुप बैठने वाला हूँ. हाँ आज से मैं भी चुप बैठने वाली हूँ. कुछ नहीं होता. Then you each of us कितना दिन के लिए before the next fight starts. Correct no? घर का झमेला ऐसे ही होता है. Correct कुछ नहीं होता है. कोई झुकने होने वाला है. कोई घर छोड़ के नहीं जाएगा. कोई लाइफ के लिए मैं इसके बाद कभी इंटरव्यू ही नहीं करूँगी. कितना दिन के लिए कितना घंटे के लिए. Correct. So we are not on Nishtha platform. We मतलब the men also. None of us are on Nishtha platform.
What kind of spiritual auspiciousness can we really look into? I mean, this is from material.
Okay, it is mentioned that all the auspicious qualities of the demigod will descend on a person who is on the platform of Nishtha. Devi Devataan ko qualities aayega, which means you may become less fearful, more responsible, more loving. These are all auspicious qualities. More giving. Because demigods give, no? Whatever it is. They give us rainfall. Even if we don't worship them, they are giving. Right? We are not doing Indra Puja every day, but still we are getting. Correct? Demigods are providing. Of course, ultimately Krishna is the maintainer, but still, that agency is working for us day in and day out. If there is no oxygen, what will happen? Right? So unless they have good qualities, why will they, year after year provide all these things? So demigods have good qualities. All the good qualities of the demigods will come. Besides, demigods actually are, in one sense, they are more advanced than normal. I'm not saying they are more advanced than a pure devotee who is in the material, in this world. But otherwise, if you compare to lukewarm devotees, demigods are much more advanced. They are more surrendered in that sense. That's why they have been given those key responsibilities. But because they have some material desires, they are still in the heavenly planets. So the good qualities of the demigods will come. Honesty, so many things. Thousands of good qualities that you can list of the demigods. So they will all descend. And if they are not descending on us, that means there is a problem. Now, it is mentioned that what is the meaning of all auspicious? So now you may want to note down. Something cannot be, for something to be all auspicious, it needs to fulfill 4 criteria. The first criteria is that it must benefit everyone. If it benefits only one person, then it is not all auspicious. It may be auspicious for you, but not for me. Correct? For example, if someone gets Mr. Patel gets promotion in office. Okay, for example, his wife will say, "Sab shubh mangal ho raha hai." Office में मेरे पतिदेव को promotion मिला. But Mrs. Chopra is angry along with Mr. Chopra because there was only one seat for general manager and Mr. Patel made it. So Mr. Chopra is unhappy. He has not been benefited. So she will obviously say, क्या सब कुछ inauspicious हो रहा है. मेरे पतिदेव almost last stage तक आए promotion का and he did not. My husband came till the last stage of promotion and did not get it. So for her, she will see it as inauspicious. So all auspicious means it is benefiting everyone. Sarva loka mangalam, like that. Not only must it benefit everyone, but it must attract everyone also. Srila Prabhupada gives an example of this United Nations. The activities of the United Nations, are they benefiting everyone?
No.
So Srila Prabhupada says there is only one activity which can benefit everyone, which is what? Spreading the message of Krishna Bhakti. And what a nice day to discuss this topic. Because Devamrit Maharaj was saying, anyone who agrees to serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda will ensure that that person is delivered from this cycle of birth and death. Guarantee. He said, anyone who participates in assisting my brother, who is his brother? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Nityananda says, I will deliver them. खाली मेरा भाई के लिए काम करो, भाई के लिए काम करो. You work for the supreme भाई.
बॉम्बे का भाई.
बॉम्बे का भाई. ये गोलोक का मायापुर का भाई है. Correct? So you work for my brother, and then I will deliver you. Like that. So this is the highest welfare activity. यारा देख के तारा कहा कृष्ण उपदेश, हमारा आज्ञा गुरु हना तारा यही देश. So Maharaj was reiterating this point. And he said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this instruction to a grihastha, not even to a sannyasi or someone. Ki you must preach. That is why we are always, our seniors are behind us. We are also behind others. That please go out and start spreading this movement, by which we will also progress. How we will progress? Because we will get mercy of Lord Nityananda. Like that. So that is the process which will benefit everyone. Even the trees and animals are attracted by such a movement. So for anything to be all auspicious, it must benefit everyone and it must attract everyone. That is also important. The third aspect is it must produce good qualities. All auspiciousness will only come when it produces good qualities. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18th chapter, 5.18.12, you can note down. I have told this verse before also. What is the verse? Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavat akinchana sarvair gunair tatra samasate sura harau abhakta kuto mahat guna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. Which means what? That for a person who is a devotee, all auspicious qualities of the demigods will automatically dawn upon such a person. And for a person who is not a devotee, harau abhakta. Bhakta ka opposite kya hai? Abhakta. Hari ka abhakta, who is not a devotee, kuto mahat guna, kahan se mahat guna aayegi uske paas? Manorathena sati dhavato bahi. Man ke rath mein, dhavato means what? Ghum raha hai idhar udhar. He is just moving around, his mind is taking him to several places and all his activities are dictated by his mind. So such a person cannot have any good qualities. So Prabhupada said, a person who is not a devotee cannot have any good qualities. But sometimes when you say this, people will object. What they will say? Kya baat kar rahe ho yaar? I still know many people jo 16 mala nahi karta hai, but bahut achhe insan hai. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Correct. Now how will you argue that point? If Bhagavatam is saying like this, how will you argue that?
They are temporary.
Correct. They are temporarily in the mode of goodness. Because non-devotees are also in the mode of goodness, no? But the mode of goodness is what? Can you be permanently in the mode of goodness? Temporary only. Like that. Many times I remember in the Hindi movies, that villain is initially, he's like the brother of the hero and all that. And he's very nicely, oriented towards the heroine. And then finally he has some bad intentions for her. Aaj tak maine aisa karke, he will, and he will go and try to do something very abominable. You remember these scenes? Initially he is in the mode of goodness, but in a very vulnerable moment, such a person will then go and change everything, right? So this is how dangerous this material world is. So mode of goodness is very dangerous. Being in the mode of goodness, you cannot be forever. Because what happens? The moment you are in mode of goodness, people start trusting you. And then you fall. And then logon ka bhi bharosa uth jata hai. Is it clear? So like that. So I am giving an extreme example of how these things work also. Sometimes even there are people who are in the garb of saffron robes, who are simply people who are in the mode of goodness. They are doing dana dharma, opening this school, that hospital, etc. And finally what happens? They succumb to the opposite sex, and then see what happens in the society, right? So, mano rathena sati dhavato bahi. Such people are only riding on the by their own minds. That's all. They are driven by their mind. The mind will tell them, "Abhi philanthropy kar, kya hai wo? Neki kar, what is that? Darya mein dal, whatever." So, okay, so they will do a lot of neki, but sometimes they will get caught in the mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So they will end up doing something very abominable, and then they will fall down from that position. That's all. Khatam ho gaya baat already. But a devotee, when one person reaches the platform of nishtha, then a devotee's all auspicious qualities are there on the devotee, and they remain. They remain with the devotee because Krishna bestows them personally. Like that. Okay. So, something can be all auspicious only if it benefits everyone, only when it attracts everyone, only when it produces all good qualities. So, Prabhupada writes that neither modern education nor all this Hatha Yoga and this yoga and that yoga, they cannot produce all these qualities. They cannot produce all these qualities. It's only Bhakti which will produce these qualities. And the fourth aspect of something which has to be all auspicious is that it bestows superior happiness. So, happiness usually comes from three things. Bhukti, Mukti, Bhakti. Happiness comes from Bhukti. Bhukti means what?
Enjoyment.
Sense enjoyment. Correct? Most of the world is trying to derive happiness through what? Mukti. Bhukti. Yeah, Bhukti. Bhukti means sense enjoyment, sense gratification. Sense gratification can be gross or it can be subtle or it can be a combination of both. Right? For example, somebody is in a pub. That is gross sense gratification. Drinking, enjoying wine, women, like that. Somebody is enjoying subtle sense gratification. Through a movie or going to Gana Mela. There was one, neighbor I had. His whole motive was, his whole orientation life mein he was thinking, Unni Krishnan ka Gana Mela kab hone wala next? Or Yeshudas Gana Mela, when it is going to happen? It was like that. So they will, nothing wrong with him, but uska pura life mein wahi tha. Work hard and attend Gana Mela. Like that. तो थोड़ा गाना सुन के सन्मुखानंद हॉल में थोड़ा या तो कर्नाटिक what is Nitya Shri Mahadevan will sing or some MS Subbalakshmi will come and sing there and they will hear all these people and they will come out, right? So this is also sense enjoyment only. There are people who do not understand the difference between cultural and spiritual. Okay, so Bhukti is separate, Mukti and Bhakti. Mukti means sense gratification. जो काम कर रहे हो उससे खुद को मजा आ रहा है. I am feeling happy. Any activity we do, always thinking that I am happy doing this activity, you can safely, it is like, you can call it as Mukti. Mukti means what? The desire for Mukti. That is, so this Bhukti is lower happiness. Because this Bhukti, why it is lower happiness? Because it is material in nature. Anything which is material in nature is temporary. So Bhukti is what? Lower happiness. Then many people want Mukti. Anyone here who wanted Mukti? Who has ever prayed for Mukti?
Before coming to
Before coming to Krishna consciousness, you used to pray for Mukti. I can tell you, I pray for Mukti every time I have a fight in office. मैं तो आज भी करता हूँ, very frankly. Sometimes you get frustrated, you say, boss, ये निकाल यहाँ से. In that Hindi, the dialogue, उठा ले. अरे पर्वतिकारा, उठा ले. Like that. So this is like that. कभी कभी इतना फ्रस्ट्रेशन हो जाता है, you get so frustrated, you want to simply get out of this material world. वो बोलता है ठीक है गोलोक में कुछ भी, I don't care what rasa I am in, but I don't want to be here. Correct? That desire comes many times, especially in office it comes. तब तक वो बराबर है क्या? कभी कभी लगता है ऐसा क्या कर रहे हैं यार इस दुनिया में. You get frustrated. Tomorrow morning you realize. Many of you will pray for mukti. Tomorrow morning. When you even realize, oh my God, again I have to go to that, what is that? Jail, whatever. So then last 2 weeks I have been having this intense desire that bhakti hoye nahi, mukti to hona hi chahiye lifetime mein. अच्छा है, side benefit है. It stands with folded hands, they say. किधर है भाई? Folded hands किधर? लेके जाओ. I don't want to come back into this material world. Because right now we have, the problem is only such a person truly can hate mukti who is fearless. Only a fearless person will deride the concept of liberation. Classroom mein baith ke we can talk big things. No, after devotional service we deride, tuchha hai, moksha. But actually nahi hai. Actually when we really face miseries in life, unless we are not on that platform, so we say, no, I don't want to come back into this material world. So we have to be on a fearless platform. Abhayam. Till we have fear, then we will always pray for mukti. Okay. Because pure devotees are fearless. Why they are fearless? Not because of some artificial imposition on the mind or they have got some kavach. Because love, prem hi itna hai कि there is no fear. For it's simple. I'll give you a very close example, but it's not a correct example. I'm telling you just an example. A mother is carrying the child and they are going on a boat. Okay, the child slips and falls into the river. The mother doesn't think, अरे river में इतना बाप रे कितना deep है यार ये river. वो inquiry करती है क्या? Does she inquire? How deep is it? Is it safe to jump? I mean, my kid is down. You know what I mean? No. Or अरे बेटा, dhum, like that. So because what happens when there is intense love, the fear factor is gone. Then there is only love for that person. That's all. You are only thinking about that person now, like that. So when we think of Krishna like that all the time, then there will be no fear. The only fear we will have is, oh Krishna, your feet are so soft. You are going to pasture the cows. What will happen? The thorns will prick your lotus feet. Apne ko hai kya aisa fear, frankly? That is the last of my fear right now. I can tell you that. Frankly, let's admit we are not on that platform right now. At least I am not there. Correct? So our problem is fear. And that fear is why that fear is there? Why? Fear ka buniyad kya hai? Last 1 month I have been meditating on this. What is the foundation of fear in my life? Not even attachment. Who said that? Yes. Fear comes because of lack of faith. Arey jahan faith hai wahan kahan fear? Our faith has not developed. When our faith develops fully, then there is no question of fear. What is that faith? Faith is what? Rakshishyati sa vishwaso goptritve varnam tatha. That Lord Krishna is the maintainer, he will protect under all circumstances. When that faith comes, then only fear will go out. So our whole sadhana first, I agreed, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, but Shraddha mein damadol hai thoda. Correct? Shraddha itself thoda shaky hai. Kabhi yes, kabhi haan, kabhi kabhi to dikhta hai, kabhi nahi dikhta hai. Like that. So it's like that. So the basis of fear is lack of faith. And because of fear, there is a desire for liberation. But when there is pure love, then it doesn't matter. Swarga apavarga narakeshwa api tulyata darshanam. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibhyati. Swarga apavarga narakeshwa api tulyata darshanam. Chitraketu Maharaj, when he was flying, you remember that pastime? Lord Shiva and Parvati are sitting. Parvati is in the lap of Lord Shiva. Chitraketu is flying along with so many celestial damsels. He is looking down. He is smiling. What he is thinking? He is thinking how glorious is Lord Shiva that his wife is on his lap and still he is giving a lecture on celibacy to all the sages who are celibate sages. Which means what a high personality this must be, right? Who is not even disturbed slightly. And Shiva, Lord Shiva is understanding what he is thinking because Lord Shiva knows he is a devotee of Vishnu. So Lord Shiva is smiling at him. But Parvati mistakes. Parvati thinks that Chitraketu is laughing at my husband. So therefore immediately what she does? She curses Chitraketu that you will become a demon in your next lifetime. And then he becomes Vritasur. Like that. Okay? Now when she curses, then what happens? Lord Shiva is having a conversation with Parvati. Are kya kar diya? Why did you curse him? He said, because he offended you. So Lord Shiva is, in that conversation, Lord Shiva mentions that verse. He says that you have cursed him to fall down into a lower demonic species. So that time that comes. Prabhupada writes that Chitraketu, of course, smilingly came to, he didn't come to, Parvati and say that, I think there has been a terrible mistake, I think you're just misunderstanding. Nothing, no kind of conversations like that. He is just coming and saying that, Mate, I accept whatever that your desire is. Like that, very happily. And then Lord Shiva tells, see, this is devotee. Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati. Matlab, ek devotees of Lord Krishna, they are very rare. Narayana. Such devotees are, they don't care whether they are in Swarga. Swarga means what? Heavenly planets. Apavarga means what? Above heavenly planets. Liberation. Or Narakeshu, in the hellish planets. Their only devotee sphere is what? That I may not get a chance to serve the Lord. That's the only devotee sphere. That I may lose association of devotees. Otherwise, a pure devotee doesn't have any fear in life. There's no material fear at all. Like that. So, this fearlessness will manifest only when we are experiencing superior happiness in our life. So all auspicious means what? That the happiness has to be superior than the temporary happiness that the material world gives us. Happiness which is beyond bhukti, which is beyond mukti. That happiness which comes in pure bhakti. Prabhupada very nicely explains in Nectar of Devotion the example of, anyone has read this section and come for the class? Whose example Prabhupada gives? He gives the example of Kola Vecha Sridhar. You know Kola Vecha Sridhar, no? How many of you don't know Kola Vecha Sridhar pastime? 2 people don't know. Okay, 3. Okay. Kola, matlab kya hai? Banana leaves. Khol. Kola. So Kola Becha, he used to sell banana leaves. He used to make cups of banana leaves and sell. Kola Vecha Sridhar. He was a very poor man. वो बेचते थे. How much money you can make from selling banana leaves, correct? उसमें से भी half the money he used to, whatever money he used to get, what he used to do? He used to worship the Ganges with half the money. Maybe after a full day he may get 1 rupee, correct? उसपे 50 paise he will spend for mother Ganges and 50 paise he will use for his maintenance. He had only 2 possessions. One, he had a hut. Inside the hut there was nothing. Okay? And outside the hut he used to keep a pot for his, सबके लिए वो pot था, for all use. And that pot had a hole. That was his only possession. Kola Vecha Sridhar. If you go to Mayapur, you can see his samadhi. Very beautiful place. You have been to there? Anyone been there? Kola Vecha Sridhar's? Yeah, okay. With the Yatara we went, no? Yeah. So, he used to sell this and maintain. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know, ye hai aisa. No? There is a devotee like this, of this caliber, no? Who is worshipping, who has so much love for the Lord. So, Mahaprabhu used to do pastimes with him. Mahaprabhu used to go and negotiate. Kitne mein diya? He used to say the lowest price in the market. His business was like Tukaram business. जो आता है विठल देगा वही है. So he never charged, but Mahaprabhu will say that's very expensive. बहुत बोल रहा है. Like in India we tell ना भैया कितना का दिया apple? 50 रुपए किलो. भैया बहुत बोल रहा है. Like that. Immediately the ladies usually they will negotiate. नहीं उधर तो 20 रुपए में मिलता है. वो तो उसका ऐसा है, उसका इधर माल अच्छा है. This fellow will tell something like that, no? So like that, Mahaprabhu is negotiating with Kolavecha Sridhar. He is telling that, what is this? This is too much you are charging, You are making a lot of money. And I know that you are a very, very wealthy person. You are just acting. You have treasure of wealth with you. And Kolavecha Sridhar says, no, I actually don't have anything. You come and see, I don't have anything. This is the right price I am charging you for that. And Mahaprabhu will bargain deliberately and he will snatch and he will go. Like that. He will rock bottom price, he will give and he will take like that. And so that's the affection which Mahaprabhu had for Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha Sridhar did not have even a tinge of material attachment. Like that. He just used to be a very simple person praying to Krishna, having genuine love for the Lord. To cut a long story short, he was so elevated that Mahaprabhu used to take everyone. You can imagine the caliber of Mahaprabhu's associates. Who were his associates? Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramananda, so many such associates, Narahari Sarkar, so many people, Kunda Sarkar, so many people he had associates. He used to, one day he took a morcha. He said, we will all go and raid Kolavecha Sridhar's house. We will get the treasure out. Today I will expose him. The wealth that you have, like income tax wala bolta na, abhi tere ko expose karke hi chhodunga main, tera wealth. So he goes, and then what happens? Kolavecha Sridhar is not at home, but they find that pot is there with a hole in it, and there is water in that. And immediately Mahaprabhu says, found the treasure. And he takes the water, drinks it, and everyone drinks it, and they all get ecstatic symptoms of love of God. Everyone is dancing in ecstasy after drinking. Mahaprabhu says, today I have found the wealth. Like that. The water which is uchishta, remnants of Kolavecha Sridhar's water, like that. And then again, towards the end of the pastime, Kolavecha Sridhar Mahaprabhu calls for him. So he comes in front of Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu asks him, today, ask me a boon, anything, I will give you. You have to ask me. He says, you have to ask me. No, kuch nahi padega. For my sake, you have to ask. This is pretty much similar to how Narasimha Dev deals with Prahlad Maharaj. You have to ask boon. So what Kolavecha Sridhar tells? He says that, my lord, I don't have any other desire, but since you are asking me, there is only one boon I will ask for you. May this pastime of you negotiating with me, may it always be eternal in my heart. Like that. May I always be part of your pastimes. Like that. So this is the example Prabhupada gives of superior happiness. This happiness is not there in buying 3-bedroom kitchen in Turak, or buying bungalow in Glen Huntley. This is not that kind of happiness. This happiness is not even there in Brahman, impersonal liberation, like that. Brahmanand. No, this is a different happiness. This is the happiness of bhakti, of loving exchanges, of rag, not bhaya, not kartavya buddhi, not asha, but rag, pure love of God, like that. Okay, so this is what, so we discussed about which characteristic of bhakti? Shubhada. Shubhada manifests on the platform of Nishtha. Completely it manifests in the stage of Nishtha. Any questions?
How can one quickly come to Nishtha?
How can one quickly come to the platform of Nishtha? One has to have desire. Okay. I'll tell you why I'm answering you like this. Because I also have this question. And I ask myself many times. Why? What is my problem in devotional life today? एक ही problem है. मजा आ रहा है material life में. Correct, no? Material life में मजा आ रहा है ना? That is the problem. That is why we are not coming to Nishtha. Simple, if someone says you have 7 days to live, we will all come to Nishtha. Complete determination. Because what planning you can do for a 7 days? Oh, just Prabhu, project manager, no? Project plan kitna? We are thinking, April 2017 we will go live. User acceptance testing will happen. This is all planned for some big project. If you have 7 days to live, what planning you will do? No planning. You will wind up everything. Chalo, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Correct? So because we think we don't come to the platform of Nishtha, number one, because we think we are not going to die tomorrow. That is simple. We think that हाँ अभी आगे है, time है, बहुत time है अभी, बाद में करेंगे. That is why we don't come to the platform of Nishtha. Other thing is, we don't have a desire also. We don't have desire. You know. As I said, simple. If Krishna comes right now playing with a flute in his hand, he said, "Chalo beta, chal." Chant करने का. The goal of chanting is to attain me. I have come. चल ना. जाओगे? How many of us will go? Ready है अभी? ये नहीं बोला. नहीं, एक मिनट बीवी को फोन करके आता हूँ. Not like that. Email एक दो. No. Let me clear just emails clear करके. I just inform everyone. Lord, that look, I'm just leaving. Lord has come. If anyone owes me anything. If I owe anyone, we won't go. मेरे बेटे का क्या होगा? We see. Daughter is going, no, she has to get into, high school. My son has to do, at least, medicine, nahi to at least dentistry, nahi to at least, this, at least that. Let him settle down in life. Then I will come, my dear Lord. Thoda wait karo. If you really ask yourself, do we want to go? Answer is within us. There is a big no. Who wants to go? किसी को नहीं जाना. Correct. Prabhupada was asked once. One devotee ran. Prabhupada was sitting in the car. He had just closed the car. Just devotee last minute. Prabhupada, what should I do to go back to the spiritual world? He asked. And Prabhupada looked up and said, develop desire. That's all he said. And I thought, and Keshav Prabhu told us in the class, that was the best answer I have ever heard in my life. I have never heard such a clear answer. Develop desire. Desire है क्या?